echoes of darkness in the shadow's grasp.
Maya jolted awake, her heart pounding against her ribcage. The room was dark, the only light seeping in through the thin curtains from the street lamp outside. She tried to sit up but found herself paralyzed, her body frozen in place. Panic set in as she struggled to move, to scream, but no sound escaped her lips. Her eyes darted around the room, searching for any sign of movement. The shadows seemed to dance around her, playing tricks on her mind. She tried to focus, to calm herself, but then she saw it. A figure, dark and menacing, standing at the foot of her bed. Its eyes glowed with a sinister light, and its presence filled her with an overwhelming sense of dread.
I am the darkness that lives in the in-between, the shadow that flickers at the edge of your vision. I feed on fear, on the helplessness that comes when you're caught between sleep and wakefulness. Tonight, I have found my prey. She wakes, and I feel her terror wash over me, a delicious feast for my insatiable hunger. I linger at the foot of her bed, letting my form take shape in her mind. I am the monster under the bed, the phantom in the closet. I am everything she fears, and I revel in her silent screams.
Maya's mind raced, trying to make sense of what was happening. She had read about sleep paralysis before, knew that it was a trick of the mind, but this felt too real. The figure began to move, slowly creeping closer to her. She could see its twisted features, the grotesque smile that played on its lips. She closed her eyes, willing herself to wake up, to break free from this nightmare. But when she opened them again, the figure was right beside her, its breath cold against her skin. Tears streamed down her face as she fought against the invisible bonds holding her in place.
Her fear is palpable, a sweet nectar that I drink deeply. I draw closer, relishing the way her eyes widen, the tears that glisten on her cheeks. Her mind tries to rationalize, to push me away with logic and reason, but it is futile. I am more than a figment of her imagination. I am the embodiment of her deepest fears. I lean in, my presence cold and suffocating. She is so close to breaking, to surrendering to the terror that grips her. I whisper in her ear, my voice a low, guttural growl that sends shivers down her spine. You cannot escape me, I say, feeding on the spike of fear that my words elicit.
Maya's mind was a whirlwind of panic and terror. She had to do something, anything to break free. She focused on her breathing, trying to steady it, to calm her racing heart. She remembered the advice she had read once. Try to move a finger or a toe, start small and work your way up. With every ounce of willpower she had, she concentrated on her right hand, willing her finger to move. It felt like an eternity, but slowly, ever so slowly, she felt a twitch. Encouraged, she pushed harder, and finally her finger moved. The paralysis began to lift, and she could feel herself coming back to reality.
I feel her resistance, the flicker of defiance as she begins to fight back. It frustrates me, this stubborn will to break free from my grasp. I tighten my hold, drawing more from her fear, trying to deepen her despair, but she is stronger than I anticipated. Her finger moves, a small, insignificant gesture. Yet it signals the beginning of my end. I roar in frustration, my form flickering. As her will grows stronger, the connection weakens, and I can feel myself being pulled back into the shadows.
With a final surge of effort, I broke free from the paralysis. I shot up in bed, gasping for breath, my body drenched in sweat. The room was silent once more, the figure gone as if it had never been there. I wrapped my arms around myself, trembling, but relieved to be free. I knew the experience would haunt me, that the fear would linger at the edges of my mind. But for now, I was safe. I lay back down, determined to face whatever came my way with a newfound strength.
She has won this battle, but I am not defeated. I retreat into the darkness, biding my time, waiting for the next opportunity to strike. Her defiance fuels me, makes me hunger for her fear even more. I will return, stronger, more relentless. For now, I watch from the shadows, a silent predator waiting for the perfect moment to pounce. The cycle will continue, the dance of fear and defiance. And when she least expects it, I will be there, ready to feed once more.
Like and subscribe for more creepy stories.